Well, this is part 10 of working on this Dodge Power Wagon 3/4 ton M37 4x4 cargo carrier or weapons carrier, depending on what it's hauling at the time. I got something in the mail, actually from Amazon, that I ordered that I'm going to need for this. As I'm looking more and more, I'm finding more spots where the paint is actually, it's starting to look like an alligator in spots. So what I'm doing is you go and take a look at that, and under those spots it's starting to rust. That's why it's starting to look like that. But so hopefully this is the right stuff. I ordered Rust-Oleum and olive drab, and we'll see. Hopefully this is the right stuff. I bought 3 cans of it, so we'll see. Well, should work. Of course, they say it's camouflage paint, but it's same thing. It'll come out the same way. So anyway, so I will use that on some of these spots. I'll show you what it looks like a little bit. Anyway, so yeah, I figured, well, I had another can, but it wasn't Rust-Oleum, it was some other stuff, so I use that in some places. But a lot of it is fine. It's just some of these other areas, I guess, that were in the sun a long time. And this thing was out in the open anyway. It was never in a covered area, from what I understand. It's been out a long time. Even though these tires, I mean, for being 70 years old, or 72 years old, or 71 years old, I guess it is, yeah, because it's 2023. So 71-year-old tires. They have some, cracks in them, but nothing very bad. And then on top of that, I found extra tubes in the back of the bed here, and so these things do have tubes in them. So it's not like they're tubeless tires or anything. That's probably why they're still holding air after all this time. But all 4 of them were fine. I only had to try pumping up one of them before we moved this thing, and it's never lost any air since then. So that's been over a month. So anyway, so I'll show you what this stuff looks like. Yeah, let's see. Let's see, we'll get you a little bit more light there. Let's turn this on. Let's see if it helps out any. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, the spots I scraped off, you can see it's slightly rusty. It's not real bad. I mean, it's sure not going to eat through this thing in tomorrow. It's still pretty solid steel, so it's really not going to melt. But I am going to have to go ahead and continue scraping this. And let's see. Well, anyway, what we have here, these little places here, and it's actually flaking off in a couple of places here. And you see there's little areas here where it's actually chipped off, and underneath is either bare metal or the start of some rust. And then we go back here to the door even. You can see the door is the same way. Not as many spots, but it's getting that way. Like here, that's all chipped off, and here, and then back here also. and over here and there and down there, and then even down here. So I'm going to have to go ahead, and what I've been doing is getting a wire brush and brushing that, and let's see. And what happens is, like this area here, it's not too bad, but and this is a brass brush actually. I could use a steel brush too, as far as that goes. But even then, I mean, some of this areas, you know, this paint's going to chip off. Even then. So if I don't chip it off anyway, it's going to eventually come off because it's rusting underneath. And if the area is hard enough and it hasn't done anything, then I'll probably just feather out the edges and then paint it. But I'm just going to do this just so it doesn't rust anymore. You know, I mean, it's, you know, it was made in 1952, so, you know, it's 2 years younger than I am, so it's 71 years old. But, yeah, I try to get the stuff that chips off really easy, because if it chips off, odds are it's really gone pretty bad underneath. So I'm going to have to do that and then repaint those areas actually. And after I wire brush them, of course. But you can see I get it down. And that's not primer at all. That's bare metal underneath. I mean, there's no primer under there at all. The other thing, I should really primer it too before I even paint it. But I'm going to have to chip off a lot of this stuff. And that's one thing I'm doing. The other thing is, this is the housing for the oil bath air filter I picked up. And of course, this was a used one. I've been scraping this off. And then I use some mineral spirits on it to clean that up. It had all kinds of grease and stuff on it, so I just use some mineral spirits on it and clean it up. That's all I'm going to do. And after I get it clean, then I'll go ahead and this side here bolts to the carburetor anyhow. So, and there's one bracket that's attached. That's one it doesn't have on the truck, but the other one they actually had, the guy had in the box, that is actually still connected in the car. So, but as you can see, cleaning it off mineral spirits. Actually, the green paint's still there. I mean, it hasn't worn off at all. It's still painted green. So, and so mineral spirits does do a good job on it. A little messy for me, but I mean, other than that, of course, everything I work on in this car is messy. I even went ahead and underneath, I scraped all the dirt and grease off the gearbox and the area where the PTO is. I've cleaned that out. They had grease all over it. The rear end, the front gearbox, rear gearbox. I mean, everything was just covered with grease and dirt. Apparently, this thing went through a lot of dirt, and whatever was leaking onto the rear end and stuff, well, it just got mixed with dirt. That's all there was. So I am scraping that out. But so yeah, it's been keeping me kind of busy, just doing stuff here and there. So that's what I got for you right now. Still gonna be working on this thing. That's why I only probably get a video out about every 4 days. because all the time I'm normally working on it. So anyhow, that's going to be it for now. Talk to you guys later.